Hey everyone, Duke Nuka 3D here with another mask from my collection, and today I have for you my Russian Insulating Protivogaz Chetyer, otherwise known as the Insulating Gas Mask 4, or more commonly known as the IP-4 Insulating Gas Mask. Now these are a very small and lightweight closed-circuit oxygen rebreather system that was introduced sometime, I believe, in the 1970s or so, and as far as I know, they're still being used today here and there, and they were basically designed as a standard protective rebreather for use in areas where oxygen is little to none, or just where the concentration of NBC agents is just so high that a normal gas mask filter would be depleted immediately. You may remember in a previous unboxing video that I had gotten this face piece off of my good friend Eli McDaniel, who's also here on YouTube, but he doesn't upload much. And then I just spent the rest of my time gathering everything else I need. So I have basically everything except the RP4 regenerative canister, but I'll get to that in a moment, and I'll explain the reasons why I haven't gotten that yet. So basically, the IP-4 insulator gas mask is comprised of several different components. It starts with the most important one, the SHIP-2BK face piece here. You have the carrier, you have the frame assembly and the counter lung bladder. You have a plug, two NMU1M insulating lens outserts. You have the anti-fog inserts. You have a manual leaflet, and then you also have a waterproofing bag, which I do not have, but I wouldn't doubt that Russian soldiers would be throwing those out anyways. So let's start with the face piece here, just because there's a lot of weird items that I'll need to go out of order to display here. So the face piece, as I mentioned, is under the designation SHIP-2BK. The designation SHIP, or SHIP, or however you want to pronounce it, I believe stands for Shlem Maska Izoliruyushchi Protivogaz. So basically, helmet mask, insulator gas mask. And the same face piece was used on the KIP Rebreathers as well, but I don't own one of those. So focusing back on the IP-4 here. My particular face piece is a size 3 large. It is a face piece manufacturer lot of 2,815, no, 16, I think. I can't really tell from this angle. Pretty sure it's a 6. And then mine was made in Saratov City in the 4th quarter of 1984. There really isn't too much to these face pieces. They're very interesting. The more I hold these things, the more intriguing they are to me. I've just been fascinated with this mask lately. There is no inner or nasal cup. There is no TSO deflector system. It's completely blank on the inside, except for a inner periphery face seal, which I'll show off here in a moment. You have a standard Russian corrugated tube that's been coated in this hose sleeve. It has a permanently fixed hose sleeve made out of OZK fabric material. And you have these proprietary locking, not really threads, it's sort of a locking ring that's meant to be used with the RP4 regenerative canister. And more onto those RP4 regenerative canisters. Those things are dangerous. I know the gas mask community makes a big stink about asbestos and chromium, but really the Russian regenerative canisters are the real health risk out of them all. Basically, the way they work is they're filled with a chemical called potassium superoxide, which operates by reacting with the moisture in your exhaled breath to not only produce oxygen, but also scrub away the carbon dioxide in your exhaled breath to leave only the oxygen that you didn't use when you breathed in. So, and anyhow, the problem with these potassium superoxide canisters is that moisture reaction is known to considerably heat up the canister. And if you get a considerable amount of moisture in the canister, they have been known to catch on fire and on occasion explode. So that's certainly not a good thing to be risking, and that's why I currently haven't bought one yet. I know Eli has a couple that I will probably buy off of him in the future, but just for safety purposes, I'm not expecting him to ship any to me, so I hope to meet up with him sometime in the future so I can observe it myself and things of that nature. So before I get on to the carrier, I'll go over the smaller accessories I have here. These are the NM1 M insulating lens outserts, basically just a pair of standard Russian insulating lens outserts. For whatever reason, the black ones in particular, which are the NM U1M. I'm probably saying this designation wrong every time I try to say it, but anyways, yeah. So the black ones are specifically mentioned to be issued with the IP-4. For whatever reason, the earlier NMU outserts, which are white, which I also have a pair of, I got with when I ordered this set. For whatever reason, the white ones I haven't really seen mentioned or shown issued with these IP-4 sets, but whatever, not too big an issue. So then obviously you have the anti-fog insert sets, nothing too spectacular. I don't know whether or not it would have used the double-coated or the single-coated like this example here, but I only have a single-coated that I put with this. So, and then there's the manual leaflet. Really nothing spectacular about this, and there's no images. It's all Cyrillic translated. Really not much to see here, but it does have some nice date stamping and inspection stamps, all that sort of stuff. One other thing to mention about the RP4 canisters is that under heavy breathing situations, they will last for about 30 to 40 minutes, and under light concentrations of work, it's more around 60 to 70 minutes, and then if you're at a resting state, you have about 180 minutes worth of canister life in those filters. So that's that. And before I move on to the carrier, I should also mention that these lens outserts are the biggest pain in the ass to install out of any lens outsert that I've owned. These make the PMK and the Czech OM10 lens outserts look like a walk in the park compared to these. These will seriously fuck up your thumbs, so also keep that in mind. So now let's get on to the carrier here without further ado. The carrier is very interesting, and I was very lucky to find one of these for sale on their own, because these are very rarely sold on their own. These open with 4 lifted dots on the side here, and they're a bit stiff, so I'm not going to connect them. You got some markings here on the inner flap, and you may notice this is also made out of that aqua green, boiler room colored OZK material, which I like. The plug here, I believe this is meant to go inside the mask for storing it when it's not in use. You have this metal band, which is used for retaining the canister. You have the counter lung assembly here, which is not permanently fixed, but attached to the frame assembly. The frame can be removed with these 4 studs, which also secure the lifted dot snaps. I'll go ahead and take this out. So here is the frame assembly. Here's the close-up on the plate, the little designation plate on the canister strap there. You can also see that this particular carrier was made in 1985. You have an overpressure valve on the bottom of the counter lung. And this counter lung is made out of a rubberized fabric material, whereas this angle tube here is made out of a stiff rubber. There is a spring inside this rubber tube. I assume there's a valve on the inside, on the other end here, but I'm not entirely sure. It could just be to strengthen the tube. And then the counter lung itself has an inspection stamp somewhere. Ah, here we go. On this side, you can see a serial code of some sort, and then an inspection stamp right there. That's about it. The carrier, nothing much to it. The inside of the lid here has this padded material on the inside, and I assume that's for when the canister begins to heat up so it doesn't damage the carrier. So that'll absorb most of the heat. And you have this little pocket here for holding the manual leaflet and the anti-fog inserts. And then finally on the back here, I have a nice 3 stamp. I don't know if that's in correlation with the size of the mask, but mine's also a size 3, so it doesn't matter to me. You have these shoulder straps. Well, actually, technically they could both be shoulder straps, because you could either wear this at your side or on your back or on the chest if you wish. So both the same thickness, both the same strange plastic hardware. I've never really seen buckles like this, but certainly interesting. So that's pretty much that. Anything else to mention? Oh yes, on the side here you have the user tag indicator window, and mine has been issued. There's a number 79 there, as you can clearly see. I'm trying to speed things along before my camera runs out of memory here. And I will show off the interior of the mask and then wrap up the video for you guys. So, looking inside the mask, you can see this interned periphery face seal, which is made out of a considerably thinner rubber, but it does its job. Very interesting. You have your standard lens anti-fog insert retainer insert rings on the inside of the lenses, and then there's really nothing to see other than that. So that has been my Izolirujuści Protivogazciatier, or IP-4 insulating gas mask. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any further questions, comments, or concerns about this mask, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm Duke Nuke 3D. I'll try to get some more videos out here soon. I've been sick with a fever lately, so I'll be recovering from that hopefully soon. And I'll see you all later.